Welcome to Animalverse. Tonight, our journey takes us deep into the heart of the vast Moon Valley Forest, a sprawling wilderness of towering trees and hidden wonders. But for one small inhabitant, this paradise has suddenly become a labyrinth of fear. Meet our protagonist. A tiny bear cub, no bigger than a house cat, with fur the color of rich soil and eyes like shiny black pebbles. Just hours ago, he was safe, nestled against the warmth of his mother. Now, he is utterly alone. A sudden, sharp sound, perhaps a falling branch or a distant rumble of thunder, sent him scrambling. In his panic, he tumbled down a small, leafy embankment, rolling end over end, until he landed in a soft pile of moss. When he looked up, his mother was gone. The familiar scent that had guided his entire world was lost to the wind. Now, the wind whispers through the ancient trees, not with comforting murmurs, but with chilling secrets. It rustles the leaves, making them sound like 1,000 tiny feet scurrying in the undergrowth. Our little cub stumbles forward on unsteady paws, his small body a stark contrast to the colossal tree trunks that surround him. He trips over gnarled roots that look like giant, twisted fingers reaching out from the earth, and scrambles over moss-covered rocks, slick with evening dew. With every step, he lets out a series of high-pitched, desperate calls. Peeps and whimpers echo through the woods, a heartbreaking plea for his mother. "Ma!" he cries, his voice trembling, hoping for an answer, for any familiar sound in this overwhelming sea of strangeness. But the only reply is the sigh of the wind and the distant hoot of an owl. As dusk settles, the forest transforms. The friendly, sun-dappled glades of daytime give way to a world of deep, moving shadows. Every gnarled branch becomes a menacing claw, every swaying fern a lurking creature. The familiar chirping of birds has been replaced by the eerie symphony of the night. A twig snaps nearby, and the cub freezes, his heart pounding in his tiny chest. A rustle in the bushes makes him tremble, flattening himself against the cold ground, trying to become invisible. He is small, vulnerable, and terrified. But what he doesn't know is that the forest isn't empty. It's watching. High in the branches of a mighty oak, a pair of luminous yellow eyes peered down. It's an old, wise owl, his feathers ruffled by the breeze. He's seen countless seasons come and go in this valley, and has witnessed many lost little ones. He swivels his head, following the cub's slow, uncertain progress. He doesn't interfere, for that is not his way, but he watches with a silent, knowing gaze. The forest has its own rules, its own rhythm, and the owl is a patient observer of its timeless dance. Meanwhile, a flash of red fur darts between the trees. A sly fox, on her nightly hunt, pauses, her sharp nose twitching. She catches the cub's scent, a mixture of milk, fear, and damp earth. Curiosity, not hunger, guides her. She has her own kits to feed, tucked away safely in a den. She follows at a distance, a silent, shadowy guardian, her presence unknown to the little bear. The scent of a lost cub could attract less friendly predators, and for reasons of her own, she decides to keep a watchful eye. The little cub continues his journey, driven by pure instinct and the desperate hope of finding his mother. He comes to a small clearing, bathed in the soft, silvery light of the rising moon. In the center of the clearing is a shallow stream, its water gurgling over smooth stones. He's thirsty, his throat raw from calling. He cautiously approaches the water's edge and laps at the cool, clear liquid. As he drinks, he sees a reflection. It's him, but he's not alone. Behind his own mirrored image, another pair of eyes stares back. He whips around, a startled squeak escaping his lips. Standing just a few feet away is a large, gentle-eyed deer, a doe. She had come to the stream for a drink herself, and had been watching the small, lost creature. She doesn't move, her posture calm and none. She simply blinks her long-lashed eyes, as if to say, "You are not a threat to me." The cub, sensing no danger, lets out a small whimper. The doe lowers her head, nudging a fallen log with her nose, as if pointing a way forward, a silent gesture of encouragement. Reassured by the doe's gentle nature, the cub continues on, following the path she seemed to indicate. He feels a tiny flicker of hope ignite within him. Maybe he isn't so alone after all. The forest, which had seemed so menacing just moments before, now feels a little less hostile. He notices the fireflies starting to dance, their blinking lights like friendly lanterns guiding his way. He hears the rhythmic croaking of frogs, a steady beat in the night's quiet song. His journey leads him towards a rocky outcrop at the base of a hill. The air here smells different. It's familiar. It's the scent of pine, damp earth, and something else. Something warm and comforting. His pace quickens. He scrambles up the rocks, his little claws finding purchase, and then he hears it. A low, rumbling sound. Not a growl of a predator, but a soft, worried huff. It's a sound he knows better than his own heartbeat. He peers over the top of a large boulder, and his world rights itself. There she is. His mother. She had been frantically searching for him, her path leading her back and forth across the valley. She had tracked his scent to this very spot. She sees him, and a deep, rumbling call of pure relief echoes through the clearing. The cub answers with a joyous cry and tumbles down the other side of the rock, running as fast as his little legs can carry him. He buries his face in her thick, warm fur, and she wraps a massive paw around him, pulling him close. She licks his head, cleaning away the dirt and the tears, murmuring soft, comforting sounds. In that moment, all the fear, all the loneliness vanishes. He is safe. He is home. The wise owl, watching from his perch, lets out a soft hoot, a sound of quiet approval. The sly fox, seeing the reunion, melts back into the shadows. Ere duty dawn, the gentle doe, having finished her drink, gracefully disappears into the trees. The forest of Moon Valley is once again a place of wonder, not of fear. The shadows are just shadows, the sounds are just the music of the night. As mother and cub settle down for the night, nestled together in a sheltered hollow, the little bear looks up at the vast, stardusted sky. He learned a valuable lesson tonight. He learned that even when you feel lost and alone, help and kindness can be found in the most unexpected of places. He learned that the world is big and sometimes scary, but it is also filled with guardians, both seen and unseen. And most importantly, he learned that no matter how far you wander, there is nothing more powerful than the bond that leads you back home. As he drifts off to sleep, curled tightly against his mother's side, the whispers of the wind now sound like a lullaby. The night is no longer an enemy, but a peaceful blanket covering the valley, and our little hero dreams of his next adventure, knowing that whatever challenges tomorrow brings, he will face them with a newfound courage. Forever carrying the memory of the night, the forest looked after one of its own. In the vast, silent wilderness, where ancient trees whisper secrets to the wind, a tiny life is lost. A bear cub, no bigger than a whisper itself, stumbles through the undergrowth, its small cries swallowed by the immense forest. Every rustle of leaves, every snap of a twig sends a jolt of fear through its small body. It's alone, vulnerably, a fragile heartbeat in a world of giants. The scent of its mother is gone, replaced by the damp, earthy smell of the forest floor and the cold prickle of impending night. Panic begins to set in, a desperate whimper escaping its throat. Where is its mother? Where is the warmth and safety of her embrace? Suddenly, a shadow detaches itself from the deeper darkness of the woods. It's sleek, silent, and moves with a liquid grace. Two intelligent eyes, the color of molten amber, fixate on the lost cub. This is no ordinary creature of the forest. It is a silver fox, its coat a stunning tapestry of black, white, and gray, shimmering like moonlight on water. The cub freezes, its heart pounding against its ribs. Is this another danger? A predator drawn by its cries of distress? The air grows thick with tension, a silent standoff between the lost and the mysterious, but the fox makes no move to attack. Instead, it circles the cub, a slow, deliberate dance. Its body language is not one of aggression, but of curiosity, perhaps even concern. It keeps a respectful distance, its head tilted, its sharp ears twitching, assessing the situation. The cub, trembling, watches the fox's every move. There's a strange intelligence in the fox's gaze, an unexpected gentleness in its posture. It lets out a soft, low chuff, a sound that is more inquisitive than threatening. It seems to understand the cub's plight. In Tismomen, an unspoken truce is declared. The fox has made a decision. It will not harm this lost child. The silver fox turns and takes a few steps, then looks back at the cub, a clear invitation in its eyes. Come. The cub hesitates, torn between its instinct to flee and a flicker of hope. This strange, beautiful creature seems to be offering help. With a small, tentative step, the cub decides to trust. And so begins an unlikely journey, a partnership forged in the heart of the wild. The fox, with its intimate knowledge of the forest's labyrinthine paths, becomes a guide. It leads the way, its silver tail a beacon in the fading light. Their path is not easy. The forest is a treacherous obstacle course. They come to a massive fallen log, a giant barrier for the small cub. The fox easily leaps over it, then turns and waits, patiently encouraging the cub with soft yips. Summoning all its strength, the cub scrambles and claws its way over the rough bark, tumbling onto the other side, exhausted but triumphant. Next, they face a rushing stream, its water cold and fast. The fox, a master of its domain, finds a bridge of smooth, moss-covered stones. It hops from one to the next, demonstrating the way, then waits on the far bank as the cub carefully picks its way across, its tiny paws slipping on the wet surfaces. The forest is not just a collection of trees and streams. It is alive with eyes that watch from the shadows. The fox's senses are on high alert. Its ears swivel, catching the faintest sounds. Its nose twitches, deciphering the complex tapestry of scents on the wind. It guides the cub away from areas where the scent of a predator is strong, leading it through dense thickets and shadowy ravines that offer cover. They are a silent, moving pair. The fox's stealth and the cub's small size. Their greatest advantages: they move as one, a silver phantom, and its small, brown shadow, slipping through the dangers of the twilight world. High above them, perched on a rocky outcrop, another pair of eyes watches their progress. A mountain lion, the apex predator of these mountains, lies in wait, its powerful muscles coiled like a spring. It has seen them, a potential meal, and its strange companion. The scent of the bear cub is tempting, an easy target, but as the lion watches the silver fox leading the cub, guiding it, protecting it, something holds it back. It observes the scene, a flicker of what might be confusion, or perhaps a strange form of respect, in its predatory gaze. For now, it remains a silent observer, a stone statue against the darkening sky. The unlikely pair passes safely below, unaware of the life-or-death decision made on the cliffs above. Miles away, a mother's heart is breaking. The she-bear, a massive, powerful force of nature, is frantic. The bond with her cub is an invisible, unbreakable thread, and right now, that thread is pulled taut with fear and distance. She can feel her child's terror as if it were her own. Her own roars of distress echo through the valleys, a desperate call that goes unanswered. But a mother's instinct is the most powerful compass in the wilderness. She picks up the faint, lingering scent of her lost baby, a trail that is hours old, but still burns in her senses. Her search becomes a race against time, a relentless pursuit fueled by love and desperation. She charges through hidden paths and game trails that only she knows, her powerful legs eating up the distance. As night deepens, blanketing the forest in an inky blackness, the silver fox leads the cub to a small, sheltered den beneath the roots of an ancient pine tree. It is dry and safe from the wind. The cub, utterly exhausted from its ordeal, collapses onto the soft bed of pine needles. The fox lies down nearby, not touching, but close enough to offer a silent, reassuring presence. Its job is almost done. It has kept the cub safe, guided it away from danger, and provided it with shelter. In the quiet of the den, the cub's frantic energy finally gives way to a deep, restorative sleep, watched over by its unlikely guardian. At the first hint of dawn, a new sound breaks the forest's silence. A series of low, rumbling calls, filled with urgency and hope. The cub's ears twitch. In its sleep, it knows that sound. It's the sound of home, the sound of safety, the sound of its mother. Its eyes snap open, and it scrambles out of the den, letting out a series of excited, high-pitched cries in response. The she-bear, hearing her cub's voice, crashes through the undergrowth, her massive form appearing like a vision. The reunion is instantaneous and overwhelming. The cub buries itself in its mother's thick fur, and she nudges and licks her baby, checking it for any injuries. Her frantic search finally over. As mother and child are reunited, the silver fox watches from a distance, its form half hidden in the morning mist. Its amber eyes observe the scene, its duty fulfilled. The she-bear looks up and sees the fox. There is no hostility in her gaze, only a deep, profound understanding. A silent acknowledgement passes between them, a moment of gratitude from one mother to a creature who showed a mother's kindness. The she-bear turns and, with her cub safely at her side, disappears back into the heart of the forest. The silver fox lingers for a moment longer, its beautiful coat catching the first rays of the rising sun. Then, with a flick of its tail, it turns and melts back into the shadows, a silent, mysterious guardian of the wilderness. The forest keeps its secrets. But today, it witnessed an act of compassion that transcended the brutal laws of nature. A story of an unlikely friendship that will be whispered on the wind for years to come. A reminder that even in the wildest of places, kindness can be found in the most unexpected forms. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this story, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more tales from the wild. In the heart of the sprawling wilderness, where ancient trees whisper secrets to the wind, lies a place of breathtaking beauty and untamed danger, Moon Valley. Our story begins with a tiny, fluffy bundle of fur, a mountain lion cub, born under the watchful gaze of the moon. He's curious, playful, and utterly dependent on his mother, the valley's silent huntress. Their days are filled with lessons in survival, how to stalk, O-tu-poon-se, how to read the language of the forest. The cub, whom we'll call Koda, sees his mother as an invincible guardian, a warm presence that means safety and home. But the wilderness is as unforgiving as it is beautiful. One fateful afternoon, a sudden, violent rockslide shatters the peace. The ground trembles, and stones as large as predators rain down from the cliffs above. In the chaos, Koda is separated from his mother. He calls out, his small cries swallowed by the thunderous roar of falling earth. When silence finally returns, his mother is gone, alone for the first time in his short life. A deep, primal fear grips him. The familiar scents of home are replaced by the smell of dust and raw earth. Every shadow seems to hold a new threat. Every rustle in the leaves sends a shiver down his spine. As dusk settles, painting the valley in shades of purple and gray, Koda's hunger gnaws at his belly. He's scared, but a deeper instinct, the will to survive, pushes him forward. He must find his mother. He stumbles through the unfamiliar undergrowth, his paws clumsy on the uneven ground. His journey is a gauntlet of challenges. He's too small, to hunt, too young to know the safe paths. A fast-flowing river, once a playful boundary, now looms as an impassable obstacle. The familiar sounds of the night, once a lullaby, now sound like a chorus of unseen dangers. It's during this desperate search that he has his first encounter. Not with a friend, but with a cunning, red-furred fox. The fox, sly and opportunistic, sees not a lost cub, but an easy meal. He circles Koda, his eyes gleaming with predatory intent. Koda, terrified, flattens himself to the ground, his heart pounding in his chest. Just as the fox is about to lunge, a deep, guttural growl echoes from the shadows. A massive grizzly bear emerges, not with aggression towards the cub, but with a commanding presence that sends the fox scurrying into the bushes. The bear gives Koda a long, curious look before lumbering on its way, a silent, unintentional guardian. This encounter, though terrifying, teaches Koda a valuable lesson. The forest is a complex tapestry of interactions, not just a simple world of predator and prey. He learns to be more observant, to use the terrain to his advantage, hiding in hollow logs and dense thickets. He begins to understand the subtle cues of the wild. The alarm call of a jay, the scent of a predator on the wind. His senses, once dulled by the security of his mother's presence, are now razor-sharp. He is no longer just a lost cub. He is a survivor in training. Days turn into a week. Kota grows thinner, his fluffy coat matted with dirt, but his spirit remains unbroken. His journey leads him to the edge of a wide, open meadow, a place his mother taught him to avoid. It's here he meets another of the valley's inhabitants, an old, wise owl perched on a high branch. The owl, a silent observer of all that happens below, seems to recognize the cub's plight. It hoots softly, not a sound of warning, but perhaps of guidance. Following the owl's gaze, Kota spots a trail of broken branches and faint paw prints, larger than his own. A surge of hope floods his weary body. Could this be his mother's trail? He follows the signs with renewed determination. The path is difficult, leading him up steep inclines and through thorny brush. Along the way, he evades a coiled rattlesnake, its warning buzz a stark reminder of the constant peril. He watches a herd of deer graze peacefully, a fleeting image of the tranquility he so desperately craves. These small moments, these glimpses into the lives of other creatures, are his new classroom. He is learning the rhythm of the valley, the unwritten laws that govern all who live there. The trail grows fresher. He can now smell her, a faint but familiar scent that feels like sunshine after a long storm. His pace quickens, his tired muscles forgotten. The scent leads him towards a rocky outcrop, a place known for its commanding view of the valley. But he's not the only one on the trail. Lurking in the shadows is another, larger mountain lion, a rival male, drawn by the scent of a potentially weakened female. This new predator is a far greater threat than the fox. He is powerful, territorial, and sees Kota as nothing more than an obstacle. The male lion blocks Kota's path, a low growl rumbling in his chest. Kota freezes. He is hopelessly outmatched. All his newfound survival skills are useless against such raw power. This, it seems, is the end of his journey. He closes his eyes, bracing for the inevitable. But then, a flicker of movement. From the underbrush, the red fox reappears. But this time, his intent is different. Perhaps remembering the bear, or perhaps seeing an opportunity to disrupt a larger rival, the fox creates a diversion. He yips and dots around the male lion's flank, a blur of red fur and audacious noise. The distraction is momentary, but it's all Kota needs. In that split second of confusion, another figure emerges onto the outcrop. It's his mother. She is limping, her side bearing the marks of her own struggle against the rockslide. But her eyes burn with a fierce, protective fire. She lets out a roar that shakes the very stones, a sound that is not of pain, but of pure, maternal rage. The rival male, faced with a furious mother and an annoying fox, hesitates. He weighs his chances, and with a final, frustrated snarl, retreats back into the shadows. As dawn paints the sky in gold, Kota reaches the edge of the valley. His mother rushes forward, nuzzling her little one, her rough tongue a comforting balm on his weary body. The fox, his role in this strange drama complete, disappears into the underbrush without a backward glance. Peace returns to Moon Valley. Kota survive. Kota survive. He is no longer just a cub, but a young king in the making, guided by unlikely allies and the quiet guardians of the forest. His journey was one of fear and hardship, but it forged him, teaching him the resilience and courage he will need to one day rule this wild kingdom. Thank you for joining us on this incredible journey. If you were moved by Kota's story of survival and homecoming, hit that subscribe button to join the Animalverse family. We have so many more amazing animal adventures coming your way. Don't miss out.